Alright everyone, we're now going to be analyzing this match between FPX.ZQ and RC, and this will be that legendary Mad Eyes game, as this video will be a half analysis and half commentary, and hopefully you guys will enjoy. And right off the bat, we can see that Aka will be drawing a couple of walls here and there, and actually there are like a lot of Mad Eyes player, but each Mad Eyes player have a different style. For example, China's Dream likes to use the walls to damage survivors, while some like to chase on pure foot and then use the walls. But Aka here will be chasing drop, and we can see he already used a couple of walls in advance, and while these walls look like insignificant, but they actually have a very huge effect as it sealed off a lot of kiting routes, but drop did have a very good mind game over there, managing to vault through the pallet and escape out of that trap. So Aka here will be continuing chasing drop, but we can see he already placed a lot of walls in the key pallet areas, making the pallet mind game from the survivor will be relatively limited as they don't have a lot of kiting options available. So right now Aka is going to be mind gaming drop, and keep in mind that he brought Insolence this game along with Blank to ensure that he can have the mobile console even earlier and try to predict the entomologist to vault through for a terror shot, but the entomologist also prevented that. But take a look at the walls above us. Aka here only drew like around 2 walls, but it sealed off a massive kiting area as he completely sealed off all the alleys, giving drop no option and forcing him to come out to get a hit. And honestly, Aka did not use a lot of walls, but every wall he used early game was very effective in sealing off lots of key kiting routes. Like, this is some very micro thinking from Aka's part, as currently it seems that the entomologist will be chaired for the first time, as the mercenary is in the vicinity ready to rescue. So as the entomologist gets chaired, the mercenary will elbow pad to instantly rescue, and the reason why he did that is because Mad Eyes has the strongest camping skill due to the fact that he can keep on using a lot of walls in front of the chair, making it impossible to save. So the mercenary's plan here is an instant rescue to not give Aka a chance to pull off the camp. But even though he pulled off the rescue, but a lot of the professional survivor players believe that this is the wrong move. Because the thing is that Aka has just expended a lot of energy in that chair area. Because like remember when he drew a couple of walls? He drew a couple of walls here and there at early game. That means that there would not be a lot of energy around this chair area. So the survivors think that that the mercenary can afford to wait for a bit before going for the instant rescue. So because the fact that now he did the instant rescue, this ensured the cipher progress would be behind, as we can see that there's still not yet free cipher, and the entomologist will be second chair in a second. As the entomologist is going to try and die like closer towards the antiquarian, keep in mind of this wall that Aka placed over here. Aka drew one wall over here to like seal off and preventing drop to reaching the other side. And Aka will be chaining drop over here as the antiquarian here is wanted to go for the stun, but unfortunately got blocked off the wall. Like, that was a very good wall from Aka's side, blocking off the antiquarian and preventing her from coming over. Because if the antiquarian was there to harass, then Aka would not have easily chaired the entomologist. And right now, the survivors will be forced to sell because there's just nothing the survivors can do at this point. Because the Mad Eyes camping skill is one of the strongest in the game, and this Cypher Alley chair from Aka has a lot of energy, meaning that it will be impossible to rescue at all. So at this point, the survivors are forced to sell. And this is actually very good for Aka because now this gives him a larger field control. But the survivors also have room for play, as right now the survivors will have to make sure that every single survivor remaining will have to do a very good job in dodging walls and trying not to get spiked at all. Because if they manage to like dodge a wall for a long time and not take any damage, then they can slowly but surely manage to decode all the ciphers. But this will be hard considering how fast the early elimination is. Because one thing with the Mad Eyes is that you cannot afford to go down fast, and that was a pretty nice elbow pad from Samsui escaping that cage over there. But as I said, against the Mad Eyes, you cannot afford to go down fast, because the entomologist did went down relatively early into the game, so that puts a lot of pressure on the remaining survivors on the field. But we can see that actually the Mad Eyes field control is definitely coming into play over here, because in between the time when the entomologist gets eliminated to now, it is actually already almost around 1 minute, but we can see that the cipher progress is not dropping at all. Like there are no ciphers being decoded because the survivors are busy running over left and right to dodge walls and also to like waste the energies from the consoles. So right now, yeah, Aka's like, even though it has been a long time since Aka downed the survivor, but the cipher progress aren't dropping, so this is definitely very good for Aka. But we can see the mercenary is in the vicinity over here, so Aka will be pursuing this mercenary and trying to down him fast because the mercenary only has one elbow pad remaining. He had to use one to rescue and one to escape the cage. And the blink is going to come into play over here as there's a pretty good blink as Kirini sends with one spike from down as the third cipher will be done from the survivor's side. So Sansui here will be heading onto the tram, but that is actually the wrong move against the Mad Eyes. Because one thing not a lot of people know is that it's possible for the Mad Eyes to spike someone off a tram, as this will happen over here. Like a professional Mad Eyes will always manage to be able to pull that off. So that's some inconsiderate thinking on Sansui's side, or rather inadequate thinking. As now, even though 2 more ciphers are done, there's still one whole cipher remaining, and the Mad Eyes can just draw left and right, as because right now we can see that they're decoding the cipher that is near the graveyard dungeon, but the graveyard dungeon actually is one of the weaker ciphers to decode, because there are 3 consoles that can reach that cipher. That means that the Mad Eyes can constantly like harass that cipher left and right with a lot of consoles. So Mao will be heading over to rescue, but once again we can see that Aka's completely figured out the entire terrain, as every wall he draws has made a very effective cutting route. And so we can see that here, I want to talk about this. Here, first of all, he used this wall to block, forcing Mao to coming over all the way across the palette, but he also had a very diagonal wall, and this diagonal wall is very good. Like, this is a very good wall from Aka's side, because here, if he drew this wall like in this vertical angle, then Mom could have actually used his anti-current skill to jump over this obstacle. But by drawing a diagonal wall over here, then Mom cannot even approach this area, and he's trapped at where the wheelbarrow is, and it's impossible for the anti-current to jump over that. We can see that the micro thinking from Aka in this game was just so spot on, and how sneaky he used the terrain. Like, I've seen Mad Eyes that like to use walls to damage survivors like Dream. I've also seen other Mad Eyes that rely on chase until control, but Aka here has a different style, as he just used his walls to full advantage with the terrain. And we can see that unfortunately Mao missed that hit over there, but Aka also hit the chair, so it ends up equivalent to nothing happened. But Sansui here actually wanted to kite through the double 11, but that is actually walking in a trap, because Mad Eyes can easily steal off that area and will be getting hit. So I feel like it might have been better if Aka, or rather if Sansui has ran in the outside of the fake 11 rather than inside. Then he will have more kiting routes potentially. So yep, over here Sansui is going to be going down, and we can see that this just the field control from Mad Eyes is just very strong, because like it has been 1 minute and the cipher progress only gone by 8%. Like, Aka cut this game completely, did a very good job in just map pressuring and not giving the survivors to decode. As right now the mercenary will be dead on chair, the anti-current is in the vicinity, but it will not matter as a fly will get forced out over there. But because the advantage is now Aka can just go for the balloon blink, which is going to happen over here, and the mercenary will be sent back to the manor. And right now, with 2 survivors remaining, there's just not much the survivors can really do at this point. Because the thing is that the survivors choosing to decode the graveyard dungeon cipher is definitely not the best decision, because as I mentioned, there are 3 consoles that can reach that area. Meanwhile, the shack, or rather the like 2-story cipher can only be reached by 1 console, so that's definitely better. So right now, because they already expended all the energy, so Aka will be choosing Li Bao, but the advantage here is that Aka can actually control, like stay on guard at 1 cipher, like stay at guard at a 2-story while chasing the anti-Quarian, and this is just a back and forth situation right now. So yep, we can see that because the anti-Quarian got sealed off already, so Right now there's nowhere the Anti-Crane can do, and because he stood guard at the last cipher, the barmaid cannot, there's not a lot for the barmaid to run to either. As Aka here has completely taken control, and it will be very hard for the survivors to make even one escape due to the fact that no one is close to touching any ciphers at this point. But Aka here will be staying guard and just because he knows that someone is in the vicinity near him, so he knows that one person is trying to steal the 2-story, so he will just stay guard here while using his walls to harass the other ciphers, and as long as one survivor gives an opportunity, then it'll be game over. Because the thing with Mad Eyes is that the Mad Eyes can just play this in the long game because he knows that he has a strong field controlling, so the survivor's decoding speed will be very slow, as Man will be taking that hit due to Aka stealing off that path once again, as Aka's completely used the alley terrain to his full advantage, limiting the survivors' killing routes a lot, and another wall over there preventing the survivors from reaching the 2-story, and he's forced to take the backside over here, and the barmaid's wine is going to come into play, but he did not slam the pallet and just sort of allowed the Mad Eyes to knock him down one hit. So I mean, that could have been better, but at this point there's just not too much the survivors can really do, because this Mad Eyes had an early good start and just capitalized on the terrain at all, as right now the Anti-Crane will be going down, and this will be a 4th survivor elimination. And honestly, the thing with Aka is that this game, his walls failed to damage the survivors a lot, but he used every wall to full advantage in blocking off key paths. So this is definitely a new style, or like a different style than we see from the standard Mad Eyes play. And honestly, I just cannot wait to see more from Aka, even though it's likely that you won't see his Mad Eyes in a while, but I'm just amazed, and I just really want to thank Aka for giving us a very proficient and a very exciting match. So yeah guys, this is the end of my analysis/commentary, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon then. Bye!